Can I draw with just one color? Now, I thought that it would be a little bit of a challenge to try to draw with just one color, and I already made a sketch and finished it, as you can see. For the only color I'll be using, I decided to pick this nice vibrant blue color. Now, the character in the sketch is actually an OC of mine. Starting out, I went in with this light blue for the skin tone. I colored in the whole figure to give me a nice base to work with so that I can continue adding different things onto it. Now I have to go in and fill in the different little gaps like in the hair and other places just to make sure it has a cleaner look overall. Moving on, I went into shading the skin first, so I just picked a darker color and now I'm adding shadows to where I just guess where it would be. Like where the hand is covering the face, and same with the hair. I also shaded the hand a little bit just to give it a little bit more depth. Right now I'm shading between the fingers, just about estimating where the shadows would be. And with that, I am done rendering the skin for the most part. I wanted to play with the background a little to see if a darker background would make the character pop a little bit more, but ended up deciding that a lighter background suited it better. And now I can move on to one of my favorite parts about rendering, which is rendering the eyes. Hopefully I remember how to render eyes from the tutorial I followed last video. If I'm being honest, I tend to over-render the eyes before I finish anything else, so you definitely get to see that here. I was honestly doubting myself because since I over-rendered the eyes compared to everything else, it made it look a little bit funky and out of place. Once I finished everything else though, it fit in much better and didn't look out of place. Now I'm almost done with the eyes. I cut down a lot of this, so if something looks off, that's why. But now for one of my favorite parts of drawing, which is the hair. And I know I just said that I love drawing the eyes too, but I think it's between either hair or eyes that are my favorite. In the first ever drawing I made of this character, I actually only made it just so I could play with drawing hair. Then I realized, oh wait, I actually really like this character that I drew, so now here he is. Typically, I like to draw with a lot more colors, which is exactly why I decided to try this challenge out, to subject myself to only one color. And I could have chose to just do black and white, but I thought that was kind of boring, and plus I like drawing in just blue. So, and to everyone who made it this far into the video, can you comment down below and act like I'm not drawing in blue right now? Like, comment saying like, oh, I love the fact that you used red for the drawing, just to confuse everyone else. And now I am done outlining the hair, and funnily enough, my character's hair is actually also blue, so it actually works out perfectly. It was so hard not to switch hues and like have a million different colors on this drawing because that's how I usually like to draw, so only having one was kind of difficult for me. Also, for the shirt, I was gonna like draw a graphic t-shirt on him, but I'm too lazy to, so I ended up not doing that and gave him a plain gray shirt or grayish blue shirt because everything is blue. And now with everything coming together more, the eyes don't look as weird, or at least in my opinion, they don't look as odd. But now it's time for one of my favorite parts, which is coloring in the hair, or well, shading the hair. I cut so much of this because I spent way too much time on it. Unfortunately, I could not get it how I wanted it to because I could only use blue. I was subject to using only blue, so I couldn't use any crazy colors and put like yellows and oranges on the highlights of the hair. But I made it work as best I could with the limited color I had. For this specific character, I switched to using like, instead of blending stuff out, I used a little bit of a harder brush and just worked with that and switched the hue of the colors a lot. I still blended some stuff out, but for the most part I didn't really blend anything. I was going in here to add some shine to the hair, which I think helped make it so you can see it a little bit better. It's a little bit tricky using blue for this because it's already a dark color, so making things darker is a little bit tricky, and same with making things lighter, it just looks a little bit desaturated. I decided to add more shadows to the hand closest to us, and same with the corners of the skin, and I just added more shadows overall. When it came to the clothes, I stuck to a little bit of a more desaturated color just so that the skin and hair would pop a little bit more in comparison. Finishing up though, I can move on to the final details, like adding the jewelry just to make sure you can see it, adding the shine to the jewelry, which I'll do eventually, but right now I'm just outlining everything. On a side note though, I love to add different jewelry and piercings to my characters. I think it's so fun. Also, one thing that you guys might not believe is that blue is actually not my favorite color. It's definitely one of my favorite colors, but my all-time favorite is definitely green. Now that we are all finishing up, just adding the slight little highlights, it's coming together a lot more. And with that, finishing that up, I can add the little shine on the jewelry. I love adding the little shine, it just brings everything together more in my opinion. Now that we're all finished up, not to pat myself on the back, but I think that I did pretty well. For only using one color, I actually really like how it turned out, and I added some more saturated blue to everything. I probably could have done better with the hair, but I really like how it turned out. Honestly, I like how everything turned out. And with that, we are all finished. I hope you enjoyed watching me suffer with only drawing with one color, and I hope to catch you on my next video.